Welcome, this is Tobias Goebel with Voxeo. I'd like to give you a first glimpse of a new product that we have here at Voxeo, which is the VoiceObjects Migration Manager. It's essentially a tool with which you can convert legacy IVR applications, and initially we focused on the Nortel PeriProducer framework. So you can basically take this tool and convert your existing legacy PeriPro applications to a next generation standards-based multi-channel environment, which is VoiceObjects. Basically, if you compare, different approaches in the past, people have tried to migrate PeriPro to the VoiceXML standard directly, and that has not been overly successful. And the reason for that is if you look at what PeriPro really is, it's a high-level abstraction tool. VXML, on the other hand, is a low-level presentation markup language, so there's not many similarities of the concepts here. VoiceObjects, on the other hand, is also a high-level abstraction tool with equivalent building blocks to build applications and service creation and deployment capabilities. So we think that VoiceObjects is a much better target for migrations, much better suited as a target for your migration of your applications. The tool works on different levels. So first you will need to convert the call flow, which comes in a PPR file in PeriPro. So you run that project file through the converter tool, and it produces a VoiceObjects XML representation, which is our standard for representing applications. And you then take that XML file and import it into VoiceObjects Desktop, our graphical environment. Now the tool automates about 80% of that work, so usually there is some remaining work to be done manually. So for example, like backend integration. So you take the output, finish it up as a manual process here, and then, which is part of VoiceObjects, you can click a button to produce an automatic documentation of the new implementation, which is a PDF file. As for the audio files, the prompts of your application, PeriPro manages those files in a .mmf format, which is kind of an archive. So you would use PeriPro's own converter to generate all the individual audio files, the .wav file that make up your application. Now the beauty of the tool is that in the VoiceObjects application, all of these audio files are already automatically referenced at each dialog step correctly, so you don't have to worry to associate each audio with a step in your application. Again, with our Storyboard Manager feature in VoiceObjects, you can essentially then click another button to create an automatic documentation of your storyboard, of your prompt list in Microsoft Excel form. The last thing you need to convert then is the backend. Now that is more of an individual task based on your environment. So typically you have some kind of a proxy maybe in the middle between the IVR and your backend. If so, like a web service based middleware, you can use that directly with the VoiceObjects connector. So now let's have a look at the tool. Let me go in there and make a sample conversion. I'm going to switch over to my terminal here. So the tool comes as a Java command line tool. So I'm going to run the Peri converter on the sample application that comes with PeriPro. NumDemo PPR, and as you can see, it produces HTML. That's an HTML representation of the application, so you can look at the structure in your browser. You see the VoiceObjects code is generated, as well as some processing nodes that tell you about remaining work that needs to be done. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch over to VoiceObjects. This is the desktop for Eclipse. I'm going to create a new project here, call it NumDemo. Enter that project, and import the XML file we've just created. NumDemo XML, that's the one. Open that in here and import it. After the import, you see on the left-hand side all of the objects that are part of this application. They are structured as components, resources, logic objects. So for example, now we see the structure of this application, NumDemo with the exclamation mark here is the root module. If I open that up in the flow view, you can already see the main structure of this flow. So for example, there are some assignments of settings here. The DTMF interdigit timeout is defined, the ASR timeout. We greet the caller with a prompt here, which is an output object. We then go into the module to do the caller request. Essentially what this application does, it presents a menu of two choices, 1 and 2, which allow you to enter a money amount and speak that back, and allow you to enter a date and speak that back. So I don't want to go into much more detail here, so I just want to show you how you can take this imported application without any change any modification and deploy it to VoiceObjects server and then make your first call. So after I've hit test application, the test monitor comes up down here, which allows us to turn on and off tracing, start a debug viewer, etc. What I want to do is I want to switch over to our soft phone and make a call to this application now on my local box.
Welcome to the number set demonstration. For dollar amounts, press 1. For dates, press 2.
So I'm going to hit 1 for dollar amounts.
Enter a money amount, followed by the pound sign.
I'm going to enter 123,456.
$123,456. For dollar amounts, press 1. For
I'm going to end the call. And as you could hear, it also read back the dollar amount correctly using the speak as formatting. All right. Thank you very much for attending our little demo here. If you're interested to learn more and maybe you have end-of-life PeriProducer applications that you need to migrate to a standard space environment, why don't you get in touch with us? Thank you. Goodbye.